Mr. Snuggly breaks his silence, and more small town magic. Episode 5 of Midnight Texas is what we're going to be talking about tonight on Dolly Debauchery's Super Creepy Horror Show. Hey everyone, welcome back to Dolly Debauchery's Super Creepy Horror Show. It's a lot of words. I'm your host, DubsyDoll83, and tonight I'm going to be summarizing episode 5 of Midnight Texas. If you haven't been watching, like I've said, every episode you need to be watching this little show. It's a great show. I really enjoy it. So, tonight's episode, we're going to be finding out a whole lot more about both Bobo and Manfred. And we get to find out what both characters are running from. Mr. Snuggly, who is Fiji's little orange tiger cat, up until now he's only spoken to her. But on tonight's episode, something happens that prompts him to decide that he needs to have a word with Bobo. The Sons of Lucifer, which, if you've been watching the show, you know they are the white supremacist, devil-worshipping biker gang. They stage distraction by throwing a Molotov cocktail bomb through the pawn shop window so that they can draw everybody from midnight over there. And in the meantime, they kidnap Fiji. Because if you know the relationship between Fiji and Bobo, Fiji is the most important person in Bobo's life. And so, in order to get to Bobo, the Sons of Lucifer kidnap Fiji. Well, that's where we find out a whole lot more about who Bobo was before he came to Midnight. Now, although Bobo himself is never a white supremacist, nor devil worshipper, nor biker, his family has allegiance with them, with the Sons of Lucifer, and he's got a cache of weapons that his crazy, awful family wants back. So, in order to try and get to those weapons, they take Fiji. And so Bobo is pretty much occupied with that the entire episode. With the help of Lem, our awesome vampire pal, he is able to, of course, resolve the situation. After much stress, of course. Now, we also go to the other part of the episode, which is Manfred. We find out, finally, who this Mr. Hightower cat is, and why he's so pissed off at Manfred. If you've seen episodes where Manfred's got missed calls and voicemails from a mysterious man, that'd be Mr. Hightower. Who is Mr. Hightower? Well, Mr. Hightower is a very pissed off gypsy whose daughter was betrothed to Manfred for something to the tune of $100,000. Well, Zilda betrothed her very skilled psychic grandson to this young lady, and then promptly skipped town with Manfred with said $100,000. So, Mr. Hightower is not happy about that, and then, unfortunately, his daughter killed herself a couple of months later, which then he was heartbroken and pissed off. Well, he is able to acquire this magic that he was having his non-magic daughter marry into a magic family in order to get back in the bloodline. And he comes after Manfred, and Olivia, who is helping Manfred, because he's not very happy. And more than the money, which he's not so concerned about, he's mad that Manfred, he feels, was responsible for his daughter's death. Well, Manfred can talk to the dead, and we find out a whole lot more about Daddy and his little girl's relationship, and why she was really so unhappy. So, of course, that situation also resolves itself. Because that is one thing that the show tends to do. It has one underlying theme, which of course is the whole apocalypse theme and the whole Sons of Lucifer theme. But then each episode has a couple of scenarios that seem to quickly resolve themselves throughout the episode. Now, one thing I'd love to see a few more of these carry on from episode to episode to episode. I mean, that'd be cool, but it's okay. Resolution's good too, because we're still concerned about, okay, what's this whole apocalypse thing that Joe and Chewie are so concerned about? And that's pretty much a summary of kind of what goes on in episode 5. Please watch it, because I left a whole lot out. That's just the Cliff Notes version, and like the Cliff Notes version I read, which I skim Cliff Notes. That's how lazy I am. So it's a wonder that I graduated high school with honors in English. But I digress. Alright, so on next week's episode, it looks pretty interesting. week's episode, we're going to find out that a resident of Midnight is actually definitely not who we think they are. Each of them kind of revealed more and more about their backstory, but we're going to find out that one of the residents of Midnight is actually a serial killer. Now, I personally feel like it's going to be one of the supporting. I don't think it's going to be one of the core cast member, or the core of the Midnight 8, as I call them. I feel like it's probably going to be my guess, and I'm going to put this out there now because the episode comes on tonight, because I'm a little bit behind on recording my summary episodes. I think it's Creek's dad. And Creek and Manfred, now, Creek has revealed to her father that she and Manfred are, in fact, an item. So, I feel like we're going to find out a lot more about Creek's family now. And, like I said, I think her dad might be the serial killer, and, it was revealed in the last bits of episode 5 that Bobo's late fiance was not, in fact, killed by her husband. He wasn't her ex-husband. Her husband, who was one of the ringleaders of the Sons of Lucifer. Neither of them killed her. We knew that Bobo didn't, but he didn't either, and that was part of the reason he was after Bobo. He had a personal vendetta thinking Bobo killed her. Well, I think on tonight's episode, we're going to find out who really killed her, and I know that it was obviously neither of them. So, let's see if I'm right. I will let you guys know later this week when I get around to filming my summary of episode 6 of Midnight Texas. And again, as I remind you guys at the end of every Midnight Texas summary episode, if you're not watching, you need to be. It's an awesome show. You're going to tune in Monday nights on NBC. 10/9 Central. It's a fun little Monday evening show. I've enjoyed it a lot. So, Midnight Texas, I encourage you all to take a watch and let me know what you guys think. Go ahead and in the comment section here or on my Dubsy Doll, not my Dubsy Doll 83, my Dolly Debauchery Facebook page. We can start a discussion on Midnight Texas. Just let me know what you guys think of the show. If you're reading the book, let me know what you think of the book. I've been reading the book. I had to put it down for a little bit, but I'm getting back to reading the book series so that I can kind of compare and contrast. There's definitely a lot of differences between the book and the TV series, as is to be expected. But let's start a discussion about Midnight. And so hopefully I will have the summary for episode 6 sometime to you guys before episode 7 airs. Alright, and as always, thank you for watching the show, because if you weren't watching the show, I would just be talking to my computer.